The late, great Dennis Green said, they are who we thought they were, and that applies today to the Wildcats and the Bulldogs from Georgia. Kentucky gets routed 35-14, and the score wasn't nearly as bad as the blowout, the way it felt on the field. I'm Nick Roush. He's Adam Luckett. We're here to talk about it at Samford Stadium, just outside the hedges, and we're here thanks to our friends of Cole.
Real hedges.
ORG. These
fake.
are real hedges. They got real Cole at Friends of Cole, sponsoring our Rapid Reactions all year long. We appreciate Friends of Cole. Resilient, reliable, affordable, future. I think I hit all the right words. Go to Friends of Cole. Future. Speaking of, Mr. Luckett, bleak and hopeless, as one late great Billy Reed might say. We're talking about all dead people. We're giving dead people quotes today. But all joking aside, we had a bad loss today that we got to talk about. We had reports talking about. We've got angry
sources season.
Exactly. So.
Do you want to talk good or bad?
Well, let's talk about the good. Why not? We can spend some time on the good.
Okay, just good. I think this was a good, positive step in the right direction for Cutter Boley. I think we're very much, Nick, in kind of an evaluation period right now. Okay, it's about what pieces can you find to, build a foundation and build something on, both for this year, I think, and moving forward. Again, we've talked about how the season now, to me, is really about number 8 and developing him, developing the quarterback and having the quarterback. I think today was a step in the right direction. I think the plan overall, Nick, was a good one. Get the ball out of his hands fast, move the pocket, rollouts. Don't ask him to do too much. But then we also saw for Cutter some movement in the pocket. Sack avoidance was really big. He turned 3 or 4 sacks into one sack, I think, today, and he made some throws down the field. I think there was some personnel usage where you're like, why are we throwing deep in these situations? Why are we going deep to these players? Yeah. But overall, I thought Cutter really played well. When have we seen a better 2-minute drill, right? In the Stoops era, this was one of the best 2-minute drills that we've seen.
Same final result, but
but they can actually. That's what a 2-minute drill with a quarterback you believe in looks like. Yeah. Quarterback playing with confidence. That's what it looks like.
Right. Well, and
even the throwaway there at the end, the time's running out. You can't have a bad play, throws it away. His only turnover of the day was a 4th down in the red zone, which was, you just got to throw it up.
Yeah.
It's the same regardless whether you turn it over or not. And just overall, I thought he played a really good game. And then you see some young players, I think, starting to flash when, Cameron Miller, CJ Works. So that is the good.
Well, here's the thing, too. The confidence issue, dude looked shell-shocked a week ago. I mean, the fact that he was able to bounce back from that rough second quarter and then to look competent. If you told me going into this game that he had to throw 41 passes, I would have said, oh, man, that's 50-0, maybe.
And he took some shots and played through, so I thought showed some, football toughness today. And then, Nick, part of the reason I think he was able to throw 41 passes, was because they got him settled in a game.
Yeah.
Because they let him build confidence and play. That was a big goal today, was just leaving here. You had to have a positive performance, I think, for him. And that they accomplished that. Now, everything else is maybe a disaster.
And to get into the disastrous part of it, because the one part of this game where it felt like, ooh, maybe Kentucky has a shot here, right? Georgia marches down the field, touchdown. Georgia marches down the field. The band's playing the fight song. They're down 14-0. We know, because we've watched Kentucky football for the last 10 years, that Kentucky lost the football game. The game was over at that point. They've not overcome a 14-point deficit since Eastern Kentucky. Give up hope every time they go down 14. Just do yourself a favor. There's no reason to even think that. It's just, it'll help your heart, help your blood pressure. You'll feel better about yourself. But, explosive play to Kendrick Law. Oh, Josh Caddis, he leaked out there, 29-yard touchdown, untouched.
Yeah.
So the play action's working. It's 14-7. The pass defense is getting gashed. Oh, there's a Jordan Lovett pick. All right. Got a little Uncle Mo now, baby. We're going to march on down the field. What happens? What happens, like it?
3 and out.
3 passes, 3 and out. Incomplete. 1-yard gain. Incomplete. But here's the other part, too, and it gets back to one of the issues we've talked about all year. The third down play. There was a guy open. He hit him right here. It was a little tough. It was a little quick pass. But it was ball to Fred Ferrier. And right now, I'm not trying to, dog Fred Ferrier, but dude was a wide receiver 3 or 4 at UAB. And Kentucky needs him. They targeted him, 6-7 times a day?
Yeah.
I mean, what? You got Cam Miller out there. He gets 1 series. And he's making some dog plays. Catching the ball on the side. Like, I know you want continuity with receivers. Like, let's be real. You made bad investments. Just play the freshman.
That's why I bring up the evaluation period. You're in a spot now where you got to find out what you have in
We know
some of these
what
players.
we have with Fred Farrier. Like,
well, it's Fred Farrier's last year.
yeah. And, like, I don't know what we have from J.J. Hester because they throw screens to him instead of deep balls. We know Jamori Macklin might catch a deep ball, but
yeah, it's a fine line to walk because you do have to play the best players that you're in the football game. But it's just like.
But you had that one series there where it's like at the only way you win this game, and the only way that they win football games, they play complementary football. Defense finally makes a play. Just get a couple first downs.
Yeah.
And what do? You go 3 and out, you punt it. The defense gets you another stop, but you're on the 1 yard line. You're cooked.
And we saw the difference between a good football team and not a good football team. Right after that happens, Kentucky fails to play complementary football.
Yep.
Kentucky gets a stop. Georgia gets a great punt.
Yep.
Thorson goes out at the 1.
Oh, right there. Hey, it's right there. See, it's right there.
Defense gets a 3 and out, short punt, touchdown, 21-7. That is, and to me, Nick, that is what Kentucky wants. That's what they want to play like. Complementary football, winning the margins. Defensively, Nick, they are playing a defense that by design is play zone, make them throw it short, tackle.
Well, you know what they're not doing?
Tackling. So it's like, to me, it's like you cannot play like this if you're going to be this bad at tackling. You just can't. And so defensively, it's almost like they're getting into like a borderline identity crisis because you can't keep playing like this. Yeah. And I think the front is good, but the back seven has been an issue this year.
And there's obviously going to be times where the front gives up, they're not perfect, right? They're not perfect, but they're pretty good. And it's just, what was the third down to the Oscar Delp, where it's
another curl, sit route, whatever you want to call it. It's another play, 2 in 2 weeks of 30-plus yards on a 5-yard pass.
Yeah.
And just no one there to tackle him.
Like the one in Humphrey's catch down here, that happens.
A 3rd and 15. At the Georgia 15-yard line, at running back angle route, you just got to tackle him. It cannot be, it wouldn't have mattered because there's a roughing the passer there, but still, like you cannot allow that to happen. And those things are things that can't happen, and they're happening a lot. And they're almost happening weekly, it feels like, with this defense.
Brad White said they're a bad tackling defense at this point. They haven't proven otherwise, and that's clear.
Yeah, 100%.
I asked him, because they said in the preseason, hey, you said the secondary was going to be the strength of the team. What's the deal? And Brad said, some of it we got to win more of those one-on-ones. And a lot of those one-on-ones are just tackling. And it's not happening. And that was, I don't know what the final numbers were, but that's the sad part of this game too. And what we might see more often is the final 20 minutes. It was 35-7 with 20 minutes to play, and Georgia called off the Dogs.
Well, that's another thing with this rebuild. Number one, say whatever you want about the offense. The offense has a lot to do with this skid they're on. But they are not built stylistically and philosophically, big picture stuff. They're not built to give up 30 points in every SEC game and win games. This is 3 games in a row. Every team scored 30-plus points against them. Now, South Carolina, that's on the offense as much as it's on the defense, even more so maybe.
Yeah.
But they're not built to win games like this. And the whole design of this offseason was to build a team that could play our style of football, keep games close, go win them in the fourth quarter. They're getting in these games. Even the Ole Miss game, they're down double digits in the fourth. The games are over by the time we get to the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Well, and
that's alarming. It's very concerning.
And in my head too, man, it just, especially defensively, they don't look like a well-coached team, and that was the whole point of this offseason, this running it back, is you keep the coaches because we like the coaching, we just need different players. Coaching doesn't look good either, and that gets us to the thing that everybody wants to talk about. Sorry for burying the lead. Our apologies, because that was the main story from the last 24 hours or so. Alan Cutler has the pauses and the report that Mark Stoops asked for a buyout back in November, and I was a little initially annoyed. Well, we're on the drive down here, we're stuck in a car, and I'm like, are we really doing this again? Because we did this thing in November. Stoops got asked point blank if he thought about stepping down, and he said, no, I'm not. Next question.
Zero. He said, I believe, zero interest. Zero wasn't in the answer.
Yeah.
And then zero was in today's answer.
Yeah, because today John Hale asked him about it again. He said, it's unequivocally false. Anybody who says otherwise is a liar. I have no interest in stepping down. I have no quit in me. And then after somebody else was asking a question, he says, and I'm not answering that crap again, or addressing that crap again, which I did love that little addition there at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But I think first and foremost, like, there was a talk with Mitch Barnhart, and who knows what Mark Stoops did, but he did something. Part of the negotiating was Stoops negotiating to change how their nil setup was. He complained about it for 10 months last year, and then abruptly before the Murray State or Tennessee games, he quits complaining about it. Why? Because they had some sort of meeting, right? Now, if you want to get into what the semantics were of it at all, I don't know. But the point, the thing that needs to be clear from Stoops' response out there, what he's saying publicly about, like, I have no quit in me, you're going to have to drag my ass out of here, like, he's saying that privately, too. Like, this is not just Mark putting on a front because he's got to say what he has to say. Like, Stoops has dug his heels in. And so for people to just...
He has 38 million reasons to do that.
Exactly. So, like, I know people are all down and they're looking for anything to grasp onto to get his ass out the door and just to make this football team look competent again. But, like, right now we're just stuck. We're stuck in the mud, and you're going to have to sit in it for a while.
Yeah. I'm interested this week. Do they show up like they say they didn't, but do they show up like they did in the offseason?
Odds are minus 500 that they do.
Okay. If they do that, like, okay, there's attention is going to be off them, right? Because basketball's starting.
Yeah.
But they still have to play home football games.
Yeah.
That people are going to be at.
Yep.
So what is just the temperature in the stadium, and what does it feel like in there? I'm really interested by it. Again,
the players and everybody afterwards essentially said, like, we are adults, we have to ignore all of the outside pressure. And that was the most remarkable thing said, because the other stuff, like, I think it is good, like, it's a lot of just what we're used to hearing, the same old stuff. And I don't know, does Mitch Barnhart have to say something? Like, I don't know. The thing is I don't know if you can't say anything to fix all of this, but there needs to be an acknowledgement of the elephant in the room besides Stoops saying, like, you ain't getting rid of my ass.
Well, number one, like, Stoops, again, like, is there going to be a report that he, went to Kentucky for a buyout again? Probably not. But he's going to have to deal with this.
Yeah.
Like when he says, I don't want to deal with that crap no more, he's right. We don't, like, fake reports, maybe not. But you're going to have to deal with this fan base angst and noise. The noise is not going away. So you're going to have to deal with it in some form or fashion. And it's clearly, like, just, judging by his body language, in that he's very frustrated with some of the noise.
Well, but it's going to get louder, though.
But it's going to get louder. Now, Stoops has drawn the line in the sand to me today, Nick. He drew the line in the sand today, which was pretty much, I am not resigning. I'm here. I'm owed a bunch of money. I've got 6 years left on my contract. So to me, a lot of this, I think it's good. And what I think most people are going to pivot to now is Mitch Barnhart. That they have this contract.
Yeah.
That they're kind of stuck. They're just stuck. And they feel there's no positivity. And there's no signs outside of maybe Cutter Boley continuing to improve. Outside of that, there's no reasons to think it's going to get any better.
There's no reason to watch the game.
If we're going to be honest, like this past year, the recruiting, like Ponatoski was a big win. And I think he'll end up playing football at Kentucky, but he might not. And after that, the recruiting's not going great.
Oh, no.
And it's just like, where are you at? Where do you even try to play the PR game? Because we've seen they haven't even tried to play the PR game this year.
The best PR is just to be like, hey, Coach Pope, you want to play basketball over here on our field?
Which
we'll let you borrow it.
To your point, that feels like what we're planning to be. Well, basketball's coming, and we just hide out for a couple weeks. We got a bye week; it won't get too bad.
Yeah,
but
notice.
But I think people will notice, and I think eventually you've got to go play games against Texas, in Tennessee, and there will be Kentucky crowds there because it's the Keeneland people playing these trips. I just think it could get people could express their frustration in those games if you don't play well.
Oh, there's a lot of frustration going around. There weren't a whole lot of people that made their way down from Kentucky to Athens, where we watched the Cats play an ugly football game. There was a fleeting moment
and
hope, and it went away quickly.
And the get back. I don't think people are too happy with the get back to work comments.
Well, they never are, but he's going to keep saying it, I mean, even Brad dropped one of those today. Luckett.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing we can do.
I get what they're
Get
saying,
back
but
to work.
maybe like part of this is I think, Nick, how you just kind of package and deliver things.
Yeah, but they don't think about that. It's the same
Well, they
thing-
should.
It's the same thing that Peak, when he talks about like the atmosphere, they don't think about it or care to think.
Well,
about
they need to think about it.
But they don't. But like that goes back to what SEC media days when you asked him directly about holding up, and they're like, "I didn't do anything different."
Yeah.
Maybe you should. It's
Yeah.
going to get bad. I said this a week ago. It's going to get bad. Well, here's the bad. It ain't going anywhere. Except, at least we don't have to watch them play next Saturday. Where's that?
Yeah, it's the one bye week, but then you've got 7 straight games out of the bye week.
Sure,
You're going to be Texas is losing right now, but you're going to be a big home dog to Texas. You're going to be big home dog to Tennessee.
You know what, though, Luckett? They didn't get 3 touchdowns against an SEC opponent, but you know what? They got their first receiver to catch a touchdown.
And they got 2 more than they got last year against Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, fourth quarter of a blowout, you got a receiver to catch a touchdown. That's a step in the right direction. Whew, times are tough. Times are tough for Big Blue Nation right now. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us through it all. We'll help you get through it all on Kentucky Sports Radio. He's Adam Luckett. I'm Nick Roush. Let's go and pound some beers.